Guild Wars 2 is an established MMO that offers an immeasurable amount of things to do, from fighting giant bosses to chasing down rare achievements or even collecting armor skins and more. With Guild Wars 2 being out for as long as it has, I've put quite a bit of time into the game. And these are the 6 best reasons that I can think why someone should play Guild Wars 2 in 2025. Consider liking and subscribing for more Guild Wars 2 content. One of, if not the best thing that Guild Wars 2 does is its class diversity. Quite literally, you can have 4 whole classes built into one. You see, the base 9 classes that you get to play being the Guardian, the Warrior, the Revenant, the Engineer, the Thief, the Ranger, the Mesmer, the Necromancer, and the Elementalist, plus an elite specialization for each of the 3 base expansions. Essentially, you have up to 36 different classes that you can play if you own the first 3 expansions. What's even better is that each one of those specializations have their own unique weapon and skill set that complements to change their playstyle so that it feels unique and not simply just a fresh coat of paint put onto the base class. Now, before you go and get all riled up about that, you must own each of the expansions to unlock the corresponding elite specializations. So if you want to play as a Scrapper, you must own the Heart of Thorns expansion to upgrade your Engineer. But luckily, most of the time, the first 2 expansions of Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire go on sale together, so keep an eye out for that. Anytime that you are feeling burnt out of one of the elite specializations, you can simply just swap for a brand new way to play. A feature that Guild Wars 2 is well known for is its open world capabilities. There is so much going on at any given moment that it's really hard to keep track of it all and make sure that you hit every nook and cranny. From the top, renown hearts that are essentially local quests that progress for killing mobs, saving critters, and everything in between. Local events, which happen frequently in every single map, can range from simply kill this many enemies, defend this guy for a duration, or recover X amount of materials. But then what really adds the spice to this is when the events build up to either a world boss or a map meta event. A giant angry boss that takes a massive amount of players to bring down. Then there are the map meta events that require coordination from multiple different fronts and groups to complete. One of my favorites being the Auric Basin map meta event that requires each of the 4 Octavines guarding the temple to be defeated at the same time. If they are not, they reset and it's basically a wipe. That's not even to mention the vistas that offer scenic views or even the dreaded jumping puzzles that make you question your sanity. Each map is self-contained in that regard, so it's not just one giant interconnected world, but many different maps offer unique reasons to go and work through them, lest we forget the travel in this game. I could also talk about gliding under this section, but I also wanted to specifically talk about the mounts in the game. Holy moly, the mounts in Guild Wars 2 are the best iteration of mounts in any MMO anywhere. So much so that WoW's Dragonflight expansion basically siphoned the Griffin Flight capabilities, but that's a different story. Most of these mounts are behind the Path of Fire expansion, but they are essentially unlocked during the main story of that expansion, save for the Griffin, which requires a hefty chunk of gold and a bit of a scavenger hunt. That's not even to mention the iteration of the Sky Scale mount, which is only available either through the Secrets of the Obscure expansion or the Living World Season 4 collection. Both provide a moderate grind to work with and unlock, but they are 1000% worth it because they can basically traverse any kind of map that you come across. You see, each mount has a unique movement capability. Raptors leap, bunnies high jump, skimmers glide over water and sand, jackals can teleport a short distance and go through portals. There's also the Warclaw mount that is oriented either through World vs. World or Janthier Wilds. The Griffin is like the epitome of falling with style, as it can move incredibly fast. And actually, I want to say that it can cover the most amount of ground the quickest if done correctly. The Sky Scale is basically a giant helicopter. It's not super fast on its own, but it does have quite a bit of control and can climb vertically in a number of different ways. There's also the Roller Beetle, which is tied to Living World Season 4. I do believe that that one is the fastest mount in the game. However, the problem is that you have to have a straightaway or be an excellent driver, which I am not. There's also the Siege Turtle mount from the End of Dragons expansion. However, that one is essentially made for open world boss fights.
And this is where I'd put a trophy, if I had one!
Regardless of the mounts, they all have their purpose in the game and they feel so weighted and they move as if they are living creatures. I have never seen mounts done this way in MMOs, but it is fantastic. So this is one of my favorite reasons to play Guild Wars 2, and this comes from me always trying to play video games on a budget. Of course, with the game being essentially buy to play, meaning that you purchase the game or the DLC once and you'll never have to spend another dollar on the game at all, you have tons of replayability. There are, however, lots and lots of different cosmetics and convenience items and other things that you can purchase from their in-game gem store. This really culminates when we talk about buying things like unbreakable gathering tools or perhaps extra inventory spots and more. What I specifically love about Guild Wars 2 is the fact that you can just earn gold in-game, the in-game currency, and then simply convert the gold to gems and use the gems to purchase those cosmetics and other features. Now, before everyone jumps on board and like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever, there are some things that you should know. First is that the exchange is not super lucrative, and it changes frequently as far as prices. Essentially, to get any of the bigger upgrades on your account, you're going to need hundreds of gold to unlock these. And the gem exchange prices change from time to time, so it's not always stagnant. Second, this allows you to purchase gems on the store and then convert them into gold, say that you want to buy something else in-game. I would say that it completely removes farmers and bots, but what I love about this here is that there is the player option to grind out more gold needed for the things that you want on the gem store, instead of essentially being stuck behind a paywall. Personally, I don't have the time to grind out the way that I probably should to earn said gold, but I like the idea that I have the choice. Speaking of not having a super amount of time, Guild Wars 2 values your time in so many more different ways than other MMOs, it is not funny. First, Guild Wars 2 has this idea of horizontal progression, where essentially once you earn something, you are good to go. Your current gear will just be as capable in the next expansion as it is right now without any extra work needed. Unlike what we see for World of Warcraft or even Final Fantasy XIV, the level cap does not change from expansion to expansion. A piece of level 8 ascended or legendary gear essentially will cover everything that you want to do in current and future expansions. Mostly the gear level of exotic, which is just below ascended and legendary, accomplish about 95% of what most players will do in their tenure in Guild Wars 2. Earn a mount and masteries? Guess what? It's unlocked for all characters on your account. Really like this brand new piece of ascended gear? It'll be just as effective come the next DLC. See, to me, that is where Guild Wars 2 really shines. It provides that framework that your time is valuable, and it should always be viewed as valuable. I've never felt behind or I missed out on something crazy because of real life events or other cool games that may have dropped. Trust me, once you realize that there is really no race to the finish as far as endgame is concerned, this becomes massively more appealing. Lastly, one of the best reasons to play Guild Wars 2 is that there is no subscription. Capitalizing on the idea of horizontal progression, it truly makes the game feel so much more magical when you can simply not play for a while and not worry about upkeeping a subscription. Now, it's not to say that there aren't ways to spend money in this game, as I've mentioned before, but it feels significantly less pressured and less stressful to be able to log in and play when you want and not have to worry about how much you're spending. Having said this, you still must, of course, purchase the game and the expansion DLCs, which I would be lying to you if I said that this wasn't a costly endeavor for a brand new player. But the DLCs, so the expansions as well as the Living World seasons, go on sale frequently, so that's something always to keep an eye out for. I don't kid when I say that I don't have as much time as I used to play video games, so I always keep an eye out for games that are going to be worth my time and money investments. Absolutely, Guild Wars 2 is one of the games that I always recommend. Do you agree with my list? Comment on your thoughts down below. If you are interested in getting started with Guild Wars 2, click this video here to see the 2025 Complete Beginner's Guide to this fantastic game. Otherwise, stay caffeinated, folks.